Hey there, guys and gals. This is Chris with Ignited by Nature, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm doing a quick high-level comparison on two key tools for outdoor communication, the Garmin inReach Mini and Apple iPhone's message via satellite feature. Whether you're heading into the backcountry or just want peace of mind while off the grid, both options are great. But there's one big reason that's making me switch. First off, we have the Garmin inReach. I've been using the Garmin inReach Mini series for quite some time now. I think I first got the inReach Mini in 2018 when it first came out. And then I upgraded to the inReach Mini 2 a few years ago when I lost the inReach Mini 1 in the field while antelope hunting. Basically, I drew a muzzleloader tag in Idaho and I was stalking in on an antelope. And as I was crawling on my stomach through the rocks and crap, I was having a lot of problems with noise. So I kept shedding my gear. I started off with everything on, backpack, bino harness, took off my backpack. Then as I was crawling, I took off my bino harness. And then I had a desert tan fanny pack that had all my muzzle loading equipment for reloading. And then also my inReach Mini. Long story short, I kind of ditched those things as I was crawling. And after I shot the antelope, I turned around to reload. I was like, where's my fanny pack? I ended up having to come back a week later and I did a grid search with my dogs and I found it, but it was a lesson learned. And now any of my accessories that I have, like a bino harness or my fanny pack for muzzleloading, those are going to be bright orange so I can find them. And yeah, it was just a lesson learned. But with these devices, you can send and receive messages, you can track your location or even track your routes. You can also check the weather, and you can also leave a track on trails that you might go on, or if you're walking through the desert like I was, or up in the mountains, you can also track a trail, and that way, so if you need to come back or follow that trail, especially if you're in the dark, you can do that. You can also do that with onX, which is what I use more, but that feature is available here. And then lastly, and most importantly, a feature that I really like is the SOS feature on both these. And basically, if you run into a sticky situation, you can go ahead and flip this open and press the SOS and contact emergency services, and they're going to take care of you if things go south. Like I was saying, I've been using these devices for quite some time now, and they've been really nice to have around. They allow you to stay in contact with your friends and family, even when you're in the most remote locations. So I really appreciate that about these devices. They both use apps. Now, these apps are either Earthmate for the Mini or the Explore app, which I like a lot better for the inReach Mini 2. And I found that the inReach Mini 2 is a lot faster as far as texting, and the Earthmate app is a lot more user-friendly. But basically, these apps allow you to interface with the device through your phone, so you can send text messages and all that jazz through your phone, and it's just a lot more convenient. And besides just text messaging, these apps allow you to interface with a plethora of other features that Garmin offers through your phone. So the apps are really nice to have, and it's a nice added feature for the Garmin inReach Mini and inReach Mini 2, because other than that, you're just using buttons to communicate with your friends and family, and it can get really annoying. So that apps are a very nice touch. But here's the real catch with Garmin. You have to pay to play. Garmin inReach plans start at $15 a month, but to unlock the full features of Garmin, such as unlimited texting, and to also be able to check the weather when you're out in the field, which is a very nice feature to have, I'll add, it costs about $50 a month. So you're really paying a lot to use this feature and to have that SOS service. And that's definitely a downside in my opinion. For me, I've been using the $50 a month plan for almost 2 years now. I live in an area where I don't get cell reception once I leave my house. We run off a Starlink, so literally when I leave my house, I don't have any cell, and I don't get cell again until I get back into town or back to my house. So it's definitely been nice having the option for messaging and satellite services and also emergency services, because if anything happens to my wife or me while we're out traveling to and from, we have the ability to contact each other via the Garmin inReach. So it has been really nice to have, and I appreciate the Garmin for their messaging services and their capabilities, even in the most remote areas. And then lastly, I just wanted to reiterate that these devices do have SOS emergency services. So when you flip that cap open, you can press the SOS button and you're going to get a hold of emergency services. So if something bad happens to you and there's no cell reception, you can still get a hold of someone and you can get rescued or you can get some help. So it's very nice to have that feature. And like I said, it's given my wife and I peace of mind over the years having that SOS option through the Garmin inReach. Now, Apple recently introduced their new message via satellite feature, which I've been using since September of 2024. This feature is available on all their newer iPhones 14 and up. Shout out to my buddy Forrest, by the way, for turning me on to this feature. It saved me a bunch of money. This feature allows you to send emergency text messages when you're outside of regular Wi-Fi or cellular coverage using satellites, and allows you to stay connected to your friends and family at home. It's not as feature rich as the Garmin inReach. You can't send text messages quickly, you can't check the weather, and you can't track your location via satellite, but it gets the job done in emergency situations, and that's all that really matters. With message via satellite, you'll actually get a warning when you're outside of service, and when you click on your messages, a pop-up will actually pop up saying, do you want to use message via satellite? Basically, with this feature, you can actually send text messages, you can send your location out, and you can even contact emergency services if you need to. The only hassle is that you actually have to stay connected to the satellite. So you're actually pointing the phone up in the air and moving in the direction of the satellite to stay connected. And then also, when you want to receive text messages, you have to reconnect to the satellite. So oftentimes you'll send a message out and then you won't get that message until you actually reconnect to send another message, or you just actually reconnect to check your messages. So that is a little bit of a hassle, but it's not a deal breaker for me. I'm just going to go ahead and set this back down now. And I just wanted to touch on that kind of a hassle or the problem that I was talking about. And, you know, with the Garmin inReaches, you just send a message via your app and then messages come in. You don't have to connect to a satellite or anything. So that is nice. With this, I find that it's kind of funny. You'll be out in the middle of nowhere on top of a mountain and you'll be just going around in circles chasing the satellite, trying to reconnect to send a message, or you'll be tossing and turning in your sleeping bag, kind of doing a circle in your tent, just trying to text someone at night. Like usually I'm trying to text my wife and she's kind of blowing me up. So I'm trying to stay connected and I'm doing a complete circle in my tent. So you definitely, you know, want a bigger tent for using this, or, I mean, not really. You just have to sit up and actually kind of move around. I've used the message via satellite service now for about 4 weeks of heavy field use, like actually out in the field during hunting season and scouting and things like that, from September on to late November. And then I've also used it day to day driving into town, and it's worked great for what I needed. I actually did have to use this in an emergency situation too this year. Actually, this past December, my wife was actually in an accident on her way down to Boise, and she hit some black ice and totaled our car. She had our, 2-year-old with her, and she had a baby in her stomach. So it was kind of a hectic situation. Luckily, everyone was okay. Despite the wreck and the trauma from actually, totaling the car, she was able to stay coherent. And with that, she was able to send me a message via satellite. We stayed connected, and she was even able to contact emergency services. So I have used this in a real world scenario, and well, actually my wife did, but I was able to text her back and forth, and it did work for emergency purposes. What this all boils down to, basically, with the message via satellite, is it's free 99. I've reiterated this multiple times now, but there is no charge for this service for the first 2 years. Now, it's free right now. I don't know, as it gets better, obviously, everyone using it right now is kind of a guinea pig. So Apple's probably going to charge for it later, but they have said that it's going to be free for the first 2 years of your new subscription with your phone. If you get a new iPhone, you'll have it for 2 years. And then It just all boils down to not having to carry any extra items. I'm saving a little bit of weight by not bringing the Garmin inReach Mini 2. And I only have to charge my iPhone now. I don't have to worry about charging the inReach Mini 2. And I can save a little bit of battery life there. It's going to keep me out in the field for extended times. You put this into airplane mode, which, by the way, if you put it into airplane mode, you cannot use the satellite feature. So you'll have to take it out of airplane mode, but whenever you need to use it, you just do that, and then you'll be able to go ahead and use the message via satellite feature. At the end of the day, I'm switching to the message via satellite via the iPhone and ditching my Garmin inReach Mini 2 or Mini 1, whichever one you have. But for me, I'm not really using this one. I need to sell it anyways. And then this one I'm going to ditch as well because I'm tired of paying the $50 a month to have peace of mind while I'm living up in the mountains and when I'm out in the backcountry, hunting, hiking, scouting, whatever I'm doing. It's just nice to not have to pay for that feature, and it's free on my iPhone right now, so I'm going to switch to that. Like I said, the message via satellite is kind of like in this guinea pig testing phase, and I think it's going to get a lot better as Apple progresses with this feature. But right now, you can't check the weather, and that's the biggest con for me. But other than that, I don't really use this besides messaging, and I can do that with the iPhone. It's a little bit more of a hassle, but it's going to get better. So if you're like me and you don't need a constant connection to a satellite, but you still want some peace of mind while you're off grid or in the backcountry, then Apple's message via satellite feature, if you have an iPhone, is definitely something to consider, especially while it's free. Thanks for watching. And remember, stay connected to the wild. If you found this video helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more outdoor gear reviews and adventures. Also, click that bell button for more notifications of future videos and releases. And if you want to leave a comment, do so below. I'd really appreciate a comment. And then also, I'd love to hear what you're using for satellite communications. Once again, my name is Chris with Ignited by Nature. And until next time, guys and gals.